Welcome to the CiconePrince.com show starring your man, Cicone Prince. Cicone is an international recognized motivational speaker that focuses on personal development and leadership development. He does this through thought-provoking keynotes, life-changing books, and powerful group coaching sessions. Cicone is a transformational speaker, award-winning author, editor of a globally read online magazine, and conference host. Please welcome your host, Cicone Prince.
Hello and welcome to the CiconePrince.com show. I'm your host, Cicone Prince, and I am super excited because this show we're going to talk about leadership. I know we talk about personal development and all that, but this show is really dedicated to leadership and those who are in the leadership arena. You know, I found out leadership is needed because no matter what organization, what group, what business, what relationships, someone has to take the lead. Someone has to be out front. And I actually have an interview coming up later in the show with my good friend Velton Showell. You don't want to miss that because he offers some nuggets that are going to help you be a better leader even in today's environment. So I want you to understand that when it comes to leadership, you have to have a servant's heart. You have to have a servant's attitude, because those in leadership, one of the first things they should be able to do is they should be able to listen to the people that they're leading. You know, sometimes people think that they have to have all of the answers. And the reality is a good leader knows that they don't have them and that they're listening to the people on the front line, the people that are down range, if you will, those that are doing the work. They can give them information and insight that they wouldn't otherwise have. And so understanding why that's so important really helps you to be a better leader, because you don't discount anyone. You don't brush people to the side. You really help them to understand just how valuable they are. And the true leader realizes everybody in the organization has a role to play. Everybody in the organization has a part to play in a success. And that's one of the reasons why most companies and most organizations, they have a mission statement. And that mission statement is something that's well thought out, so that when it comes time to share with everybody, everybody will know this is our mission. And anything that comes against that, anything that takes you off that, can easily be dismissed. But you can't do that if you don't have a mission statement, if you don't have it clearly defined and everybody knows it. Most companies and most organizations, they have it printed somewhere, hanging up in the hallway, in the break room, somewhere in the building. And even on their literature, they have the mission statement, because it's a reminder as to why they are there. So leadership is truly fundamental when it comes to success and getting to where you want to be. And that's one of the reasons why, we truly love personal development, because that's leading oneself. But once you've learned how to do that, the next logical step is to help lead others. And so that's why I am so excited about this particular episode, because the information that we share is going to be life-changing. But listen, there is something that I did actually find, and I know I've done this before, but hey, I have a ton of content. If you haven't done so already, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can watch all of it there. But I found one that fits right in this show. So here's something else fresh out the vault. True leaders build others up. Hi, this is Cicone Prince of CiconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. And I want you to understand that true leaders, they build others up. I'm sure all of us can witness to the fact that sometime in our life, someone has torn us down by what they said or what they thought about us. And in the process of doing that, it can be hurtful and damaging. But you also remember the person that built you up. They shared a word of encouragement just at the right time to help you get over the hump, to help you fight a little harder, help you stay in a little longer and achieve your goal. And if you're going to be a leader, don't be the type of leader that tears people down, but be the type of leader that builds people up. Because building people up is going to help them get to their goal even faster, which is going to make your organization, your company, or your team reach their goals sooner. So don't forget to be the person, the type of leader that encourages folks and that helps build them up, give them a solid foundation, and recognize them for what they've done to help the organization. Because that makes all the difference in the world. A lot of people really want recognition. for their hard work and for their sacrifice, for what they've done, how they've gone above and beyond just to make sure that you meet the mission. So don't forget to recognize them. Don't forget to set them apart, even if it's getting them a gift card for some coffee or bringing in donuts, some way to just show your appreciation. I'm telling you, it goes a long way. We live in a world that so many people feel underappreciated. But if you take the time to build people up, they'll give you their all. And as a leader, that's really what you want to do. Hey, look, this is Cicone Prince of CiconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. And I want you to understand the importance of building people up, because that's what's really going to make the difference in whether or not you have a winning team and one that's achieving their goals. And look, I ask you to like and share this video. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. We're in the month of May, and we have another edition of Next Generation Speakers Magazine. And this month we have none other than Karen Cherry, and she is the comeback queen. You want to check out her article in the magazine. We also have another prescription for excellence by none other than Dr. James J. Williams. And we are concluding our series of articles called Shift. You want to catch the last one. And if you missed the previous ones, there's a link in the magazine where you can go back and read those as well. So listen, if you want to read the magazine, it's free to read. Go to CiconePrince.com/NGS Magazine. But to be in the magazine, go to CiconePrince.com/NGS Magazine-2. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Nanny Night Night. Nanny Night Night is a free podcast that you can use to put your toddler to sleep. To listen, go to anchor.fm/Nanny Night Night. Nanny Night Night, bedtime stories for beautiful souls. Daytime television is about to be turned on its head by the CiconePrince.com show. The show focuses on personal development and leadership development, with one-of-a-kind segments, engaging guests, and information to help you be a better version of yourself. Tune in every Wednesday to the CiconePrince.com show.
Please welcome your host, Cicone Prince.
We all have to work hard at that.
Right. Man, it's about time for us to get started.
Well, we are. It's we live. We just waiting on you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, men of God. Welcome to the National Men's Prayer Call.
And you know that I'm the Messiah. And on that rock, I'll be able to build your faith, your ministry, your identity, everything based on that fundamental knowledge that you know my identity.
Plan. Most of us are trying to game plan these different areas of life. Like, how am I going to win in my business? How am I going to, get this relationship right? How am I going to lose that 20 or 30 pounds, right? That COVID-19 that a lot of us put on. Like, we got plans for everything else, but what is the God plan?
Hey, it's Velton Showell. Every day brings us new opportunities to do something great for ourselves and do something great for others. Leadership is our way of sharing our gifts with those around us to help them to be the best that they can be. I wrote this book, Leadership Dynamics, The Principles of Leadership, to give us some information, some guidance, and some tools to help us help ourselves, help others, and make the world a better place by helping the people around us. Only you can stop you, but you can help others. I'm Velton Showell, and I look forward to your impression of the book, Leadership Dynamics, The Principles of Leadership. Take care.
All right, we're back. And I can't tell you how excited I am to have our guest today. He is none other than my good friend, Velton Showell, and he is a leadership guru. And I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit about who he is and where he's from. Velton?
Well, good evening, Cicone. It's great to be here. I'm just a humble soul from Camden, New Jersey. Grew up in the inner city and started my career after college, went to Rutgers University, and started in the hospitality industry. Moved to Baltimore, Maryland, and then to Washington, D.C., and promoted a third time, went to Oakland, California, then Indianapolis, Indiana, ran a global sales office in Omaha, Nebraska, before moving to Miami Beach, Florida, where I opened the first African-American owned and developed resort in the country as a director of sales and marketing. So I spent 27 years in the hospitality industry in various hotels and resorts before I started my own company in 2008, during the worst time to ever start a company, called Strategic Solutions LLC, and which evolved into my current company, Leadership Dynamics International. So I'm really excited. I've been blessed and fortunate to have an illustrious career working in corporate America, but also doing things now to change lives and help other people.
Well, that is incredible, man. It sounds like you have traveled the world and done a ton of stuff. And I know that didn't happen by accident. I know that you had to develop yourself in order to be able to continue to grow and go to those different levels. So what have you done to develop you as a person? What things have you done to become the best version of yourself?
Well, to become the best version of yourself, the first thing that you have to come to grips with is that you don't know everything. And you have to become a student of life, a student of your industry or your career, but just someone who is willing to humble themselves enough to understand that they don't know as much as they think they know about as many things as they may think. And sometimes you have to make sure that you follow the right people. You watch the right people. There are people that you're going to encounter. I call them the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because as I studied, there were people who were doing great things.
Right.
There were people who were doing average things. And there were people that were doing some things that I was kind of saying, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to stay away from that. But I needed to understand the concept of the three, because there's good things to be learned. You know, there's a saying that says you either win or you learn.
Right.
And some of those negative experiences were those lessons that allowed me to perfect certain aspects of my career or of my understanding down the road. So it's not what I learned when I got to the top of the mountain. It's what I learned in the valley that really became the most important lessons that I learned.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And, you know, we always need to actually take advantage of those times, because those lessons become the foundation for our growth as we continue to actually move towards our goals. Well, now you've taken that information and what you learned, how do you use that in your leadership biology and teaching and training other people?
Listen, first of all, you know, I do call myself a leadershipologist because I study the positive aspects of leadership. And LEAD is, to me, an acronym.
Okay.
Because number one, before you can lead, you have to learn to follow. And to learn to follow, there's something that is innate in you, whether you are in a leadership role at the time or you're aspiring. And that is number one, you have to learn to listen. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth to listen twice as much as we speak. My great-grandfather used to tell me that as a kid. But if you listen to people, they will often give you the information that you need to solve a problem, help a situation,
Right.
foresee a direction, come up with a strategy. Because we can't answer everything in a vacuum. We need other people. So listening to people is one of the primary focuses and aspects of a true leader. You got to listen first.
Right.
Then once you listen, you've got to empathize. Because if people are bringing you things, sometimes they're bringing you issues, sometimes they're bringing you opportunities, sometimes they're bringing you problems. But anything that they're bringing to you, they want you to show empathy, not sympathy, but empathy, that you understand where they're coming from. You understand because you've traveled a mile in their shoes. You understand because it's not that you're trying to solve their issue yet. You're trying to listen so that you fully understand their position, where they're coming from, and what their pain, what's causing their pain.
Right.
Then you got to take action. You got to do something. You just can't sit there because now you've created an expectation. You've listened, you've empathized, but I still got the problem. You got to do something. Exactly. You got to take some kind of action that says, okay, you've heard me, you feel me, now let's see what goes from here. Yep. And then once you've taken that action, you got to deliver. Right. Because action without delivery of a result is just like being a hamster on a wheel and running and running and running. You're not going anywhere. And the person that you're leading isn't going anywhere either because they're either watching you or they're on the wheel beside you running running in a circle. So you've got to be in a position to deliver some results because people are looking for results. And you've heard me say before, they're looking for their why. Everybody has a why. Right. Everybody has their own why. And why is an acronym, and it stands for one of two things. What hurts you? Because people are either in a hurt, headed to a hurt, or just coming out of a hurt. Right. And as a leader, you have to understand where they are and meet them where they are so that you can help them through that situation. Because what happens to them, if you're in an environment with other people, usually permeates and happens around so that the other people are feeling it, seeing it, or experiencing some portion of it. Right. You got to be able to help them through that. So you need to understand what hurts them. But on the second side of that, you got to understand what heals them because people are looking for that healing. If they've been hurt, they're looking for what heals you. If you've been hurt, you're looking for what's going to heal you from that hurt. Take that hurt away, minimize that hurt, make me not think about that hurt anymore, but look to new horizons. So as a leader, you have to understand both what hurts you and what heals you. And once you've done that, then you've got a situation where you can work with people to inspire them to get motivated.
Right. Exactly. You know, and I talk about that even in my slogan where I say that we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. Because you and I both agree, motivation comes from the inside. Inspiration can come from external sources, but motivation has to come from the inside. And so being able to actually understand the importance of helping people to develop their own motivation, but you can be the inspiration for them to get to where they need to be.
Absolutely.
Man, listen, I know that you have a book that you have worked on and put together, and I know our audience wants to find out how they can find where that book is and how to stay in contact with you.
Well, here it is. It's called Leadership Dynamics, the Principles of Leadership. And it's all about the people side of leadership. You know, everybody talks about how certain people in corporate America or even in nonprofit organizations are promoted based on their ability to determine the proper strategy, their financial prowess, their technological knowledge. Right. But in a leadership role, there's no machines that are operating without a person behind it. Correct. There's no strategy being done without a person's involvement. Right. There's no finance without, you've got some people out there selling and you got some people that are counting. So there are always people intricately involved. So how do you as a leader, because you're leading people, right, to achieve results. So what I looked at when I wrote this book was the people side of leadership. You know, there's a section in the book that says, there's no hocus pocus. It's all about your focus. And as a leader, there's no magic sauce. There's no magic wand. It's about what you focus on. Right. It's about how you focus yourself and how you can help the people around you focus on what's positive. Right. You know, there was a book there were two books that I love by Tom Peters. One was called In Search of Excellence. The other was called A Passion for Excellence. And in A Passion for Excellence, Tom talks about management by walking around trying to find people doing things over and above, over the top. excellent, that are cutting edge, and promoting that and rewarding that with positive accolades in public so that everybody can hear it. Everybody hears you saying that, Cicone, wow, I am just so impressed with what you do and what you did today. That was absolutely phenomenal. And I want you to explain to other people in the unit how you did it and what you did. And we're going to basically celebrate with you.
Okay.
If you do that with everybody on your team, when you find people doing things that are excellent, then what ends up happening is that becomes contagious. Everybody wants to be recognized. And if they only know that they can only be recognized for doing something great, because when people are doing things that are contrary to being good or great, they're counseled in private.
Right.
It's never a public display. It's never seen by anybody. They know it happens because the person, most times when you counsel people, after it's over, they come out and they talk about it. But it's not like you've done it yourself. You've only done it in private. The only time you talk to somebody is if they've done something great. That's number one. Number two, to create a positive environment. And this is really important. If I come out of my office to find Cicone because he's done something phenomenal, I want to come out of my office. I want to recognize him. Then I want to go back to my office. Don't want to go somewhere else and do something else because that minimizes me coming out there and seeing him. See, because people start to think, would he just come up there? He just saw Cicone out there and it was on his way going somewhere else. If he hadn't had to go somewhere else, he probably would have never done that. No. I came out of my office specifically to see you. Now I'm going back into my office, even if I only stay 5 minutes.
Right.
I've created that sense that, he made a special trip out there to find that person and give them those accolades. So I'd say that one of the philosophies that I have is leaders are environmentalists. Okay. Charged with creating an environment for excellence. And when you utilize those types of policies, those types of philosophies, it creates it becomes, again, contagious, and it creates an environment of excellence. It creates an environment where there is, people say, think outside the box. There is no box.
Okay.
There's only a box if we create one, and we didn't create one, so there is no box. Sky's the limit. Do what you want to do. You've heard Les Brown say, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you fall amongst the stars.
Exactly.
So that's what I was looking for when I wrote the book, Leadership Dynamics, The Principles of Leadership. Those principles, and there's 52 of them. One a week for a year, and you can change your whole mindset as it relates to leadership.
Wow. Well, man, I know for a fact I'm going to be getting my copy sooner than later. But I want to thank everybody who has tuned in today because I know you've gotten some nuggets from my good friend, Velton Showell. Now, Velton, I want you to do two things before we get out of here. One, I want you to tell people how they can get in contact with you, how they can follow you and purchase the book. And two, I also want you to give us your last thoughts. So tell people how they can get in contact with you.
Well, there's a couple of ways you can get in touch with me. Can I give them a free gift?
Sure. Yeah.
If you text the word leadershipology to 954-329-0281, give me your full name and your email address, I'll send you a free gift. And the free gift is called Navigating the Seas of Transformation. It's one of the courses that I did, but it's a short version of it, just talking about transforming your thinking, because if you transform your thinking, you can transform your world. You can also get in touch with me by going to info@veltonshowell.com, sending me an email. And you can go to my website, which is Leadership Dynamics International. You can find me on Facebook at Leadership Dynamics International. You can also find me on LinkedIn at Velton Showell, Twitter at Velton Showell, and Instagram, same place. I'm easy to find. I'm always around. So
Okay. So now what's your last word?
My last words. Oof. You know, one of my favorite poets was Maya Angelou. Right. And she has a saying, and she said, people may forget what you say. People may even forgive what you do, but they will never forget how you make them feel. So make it your business to make somebody feel good today about themselves, because if you make them feel good about themselves, they'll feel good about you too. Because remember, leaders are environmentalists charged with the responsibility of creating an environment of excellence.
And that is so, so true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from none other than the leadershipologist himself, Velton Showell. And listen, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back.
The wait is finally over for Cicone's most anticipated book of the year, Leadership That Lasts, passing on 10 solid principles to ensure an enduring legacy. Powerful, effective, impactful, helpful, dynamic, phenomenal, transformative, life-changing. Available now in Amazon. Order yours today.
Man, I told you that was an incredible interview with my good friend, Velton Showell. And I know a lot of you say, but Cicone, you say all these people are your good friends. Well, hey, I do have a lot of friends. And I'm not just talking about associates, but friends. Which is what brings us to our last word. Coming out of Proverbs chapter 22, verse 1. Where it says, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. And a lot of us, we really don't tend to value friendships the way that they should. But when you're trying to get your goal accomplished, you need some help. And it's good to be a likable individual. It's good to be someone that has a good reputation and a good name, because that speaks volumes about you and your character. So don't allow what you're facing or what you're going through to cause you to not be the type of person you know you need to be when it comes to being a friend and being a leader. I don't have time to go into this right now, but there's another episode I'm going to talk about the universal question, the one size fits all. And you'll understand when you see that. I may actually do that next episode. But you definitely want to check it out, because that was a game changer for me. And I know it'll be a game changer for you. And look, we want to thank you for tuning in. And we know we have another exciting episode coming up next week. So don't miss out. We'll talk to you later. God bless. Bye.